this movie was pretty seat clenching, right? I was just speaking with Jeffrey downstairs, and it's funny that you made this movie as a thriller, and then all of a sudden it's now taken on a whole nother meaning, right? I asked him, like, when Trump came out with his hate speech, did you guys all like go, oh crap, did you talk and like think, how are we going to approach this now?
Well, look, I started working on this project 10 years ago, and back then I started because in Arizona there were being these anti-immigration laws, so there was being this really strong rhetoric of hatred towards the migrant, towards foreigners. But honestly, back then when I started, it seemed like a more small, isolated rhetoric that seemed to be growing, but it still seemed small and contained. And even Gael kept making fun of me, saying, you took so long that by the time the movie is out, the subject matter is not going to be relevant anymore. And the sad thing was that a couple months before we premiered in Toronto last year, Donald Trump announced he was running for the Republican race, and he did it saying the worst things about Mexicans. So it not only demonstrated that the movie was still relevant, it was scarily even more relevant than before.
Yeah. But what was it that drew you to the role and to the story itself?
Well, first of all, it's in the terms of making a film, it is always about the director, no? So
yeah.
talking with Jonás and understanding what his point of view was and what he wanted to do with this film, and but also the issue at hand. I had been doing films about it.
Yes, you have.
I did some short film documentaries about it, and also did a long feature documentary about it. So it is a subject that is very close, and in a way I wouldn't have been able to even accept it, to be in all honesty, if I wouldn't have done all this other work before, because I wouldn't see myself as this migrant.
Right.
Like immediately, I would have to do this like a big investigation or something, and incorporate it a little bit more. And the great thing was that when we were about to do it, I felt like in complete sort of ownership of the character, that I was able to portray the character because of all this previous experience and previous, I had already been on top of La Bestia, which is quite a big thing to do.
Right.
So yeah.
And what was the most challenging part about filming in the desert?
Well,
because you had the desert thing down.
the desert itself.
So not only was I like this, I was also thirsty for the whole movie.
Well, like in that sense, the sad thing is like as wrenching and as much physical effort as they were doing, like compared to the real thing, like at least after every take, Gael got to drink water. Yeah. But I have to say the hardest
And
part
you,
was.
man.
I kept by the end, we were all like sunburned zombies.
I kind of liked Jeffrey's game, his with the scarf and the hat. I thought he had some good desert clothes there, yeah. But so you were saying?
No, in general, I was filming in this really faraway location, a movie that like, of the 90 minutes, 80 minutes are very intense action sequences. So every day meant going to a really remote place with no infrastructure to film really complicated things in a very irresponsible way. Most of the stunts you see the actors do, they were doing for real because we had no other option.
Well, you did a wonderful job with it. It was really quite something. So hopefully you won't have to talk too much about it.